Joining us now to break down one of the primary policy controversies regarding the Biden-Harris ticket is Jeremy Dys, the special counsel for litigation and communications from the First Liberty Institute. So, Jeremy, we've finally got somewhat of an answer, I guess, from the Biden-Harris ticket when it comes to the issue of court packing. And it was an answer that really wasn't an answer. Joe Biden said on 60 Minutes that he wants to put together some sort of commission to really find out what he wants to do on that topic. Is that correct?
Well, that's what he's saying. But, look, anything, whatever he wants to call it, it's still court packing by just some other name here. And what the American people know is two things. Number one, they know a good Supreme Court justice when they see one, and that's Amy Coney Barrett. And I think the whole country is breathing a sigh of relief that she made it through the confirmation process without any significant controversies raised by the left. Thank goodness for that. Number two, they also understand that this idea of court packing was a bad idea in 1937 or whenever it was that FDR tried to rush it through. The number of 9 justices on the Supreme Court being there since, Abraham Lincoln is perfectly fine with them. And it would be a political bad point to move forward with trying to pack the court, whether that's through adding more numbers to it to match the seats in the Galactic Senate in Star Wars, or by creating some sort of commission that would do the same thing. This is a really bad idea. Let's just move forward with the way the founders intended it.
And I'm glad that you laid that out that way, because I've heard a lot of Democrats say as of recently that Republicans have been packing the courts. And I think it's worth saying that they haven't been packing the courts. They have been confirming a lot of judges to the federal level courts, and they did get 3 Supreme Court justices. But that's not altering the foundation of what we know the courts to be, which is what Democrats are proposing. In fact, in order to do so, they would have to do away with the filibuster, if I'm not mistaken, and then try to really just pump in new numbers to the Supreme Court. Is that really what that would end up looking like?
It would look awful is what it would end up looking like. And yes, it'd be a pain in the rear end to be able to move forward with that kind of thing. Just legislatively, it would be very difficult to do. They should remember the words of Justice Ginsburg, who said that court packing is a really awful idea and we should stick it around to where it is. My hope is that there are yet some Democrats, that are yet some progressives that are like their forebears in the 1930s and early 40s who, when they were in massive control, it was something like 70 to 30 in the Senate back in the 1930s, that rejected the idea of adding members to the court under FDR. It was the Democrats who led the way in saying, no, this cannot be the way. In fact, it was Haddon Summers right here in Dallas that said, I'm going to push all my chips into the middle here, boys, because this is a constitution we're talking about. This would have enormous consequences on this country, politically and otherwise. We cannot allow the Supreme Court to turn into some other political body that the founders did not want it to be. It's supposed to occupy an important role, saying what the Constitution actually says.
That's a really interesting parallel, because right now it seems like it's mostly progressives calling to pack the court, with maybe the more moderate Democrats saying, you know what, I don't know if I want to go down that route exactly yet. Is that because that, for example, someone such as Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez knows that her Green New Deal or Medicare for All likely won't get through Congress the way it is, so they'd rather go through a court route or something like that?
They've certainly been relying upon the Supreme Court to do their policy bidding for many, many years now. And now that they stand on the edge of potentially losing that, and I say potentially because there's no guarantee in the outcome of any case before Judge Barrett or Justice Barrett or anybody else out at the Supreme Court of the United States. But they do know that they have used the courts for years to advance legislative agendas that they couldn't get through the Congress. And so with facing the loss of that very thing right now, they may try to take extraordinary measures that would be out of step with the political process, certainly out of keeping with what the American people want to have happen here, and certainly out of step with their own history within their own party. I hope there are yet some politicians within the left that say, no, this is a country we're talking about, a constitution that we'd be dealing with. We need to make sure that we preserve all the foundational freedoms that we have, including, most importantly, our first freedom, religious liberty. It would be absolutely detrimental to have a political entity become the Supreme Court of the United States.
And Jeremy, earlier you said that Judge Amy Coney Barrett, the American people know that she's a good justice. And we heard Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say that he looks at her as a political asset going into these elections, not something they should shy away from or anything like that, speaking to how good of her character and her intellect is as a judge. For Democrats, is this a winning issue, saying we want to pack the courts as a rebuttal to what she's doing? I mean, is there polling that really supports what they're doing? Why are they doing this?
It is absolutely against their own interest to be doing this. In fact, we released a poll that you can read at firstliberty.org just a few weeks ago, and we asked the American people about this. And far and away, of course, you'd expect the left and the right to be polar opposites of the responses, but far and away, it was the independents, the registered independent political voter, who said this is a really bad idea. Don't mess with what has been a 156-year tradition in this country of having 9 justices on the Supreme Court. They can see what the left is trying to do here, and they don't like it.
And I think the hesitancy by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to even answer this question at all is a testament to exactly what you're saying. I mean, if it was politically advantageous, they would be putting it on campaign ads, saying it all over the TVs, everything like that. But the mere fact that they're staying silent on this issue, I think it says all you need to know. But Jeremy Dys, I really appreciate you coming on the program tonight, breaking down this issue of court packing for us. Thank you.